Hey, and welcome back. This is the new episode of Eberron Borrowed Time. I am your GM, Daniel, and we're going to jump right into it. Last time we played, the group had sussed out what had happened at the Sage's White Spike Tower. Essentially, a enhanced face spider had taken the place of the Sage and poisoned some of their companions, including an older companion they hadn't seen since the war. They kind of cleaned up after themselves, figured out what's going on, brought the Sage, Tenno, and the group, Yuji and the group, back to the inn and figured out what they were going to do and worked on healing up everyone. Did some more investigating around town. In the meantime, celebration prep has been happening in the town of Semblance, getting ready for the holy day of Doldorn, specifically the Bright Blade celebration. We'll be getting into that in just a second. But they did find a pack of potions that were placed back into the chest they got from the Sage's Tower. And the Sage, as far as we know, is still sitting in a small room, mostly saved for the servants and help at the inn back behind the kitchen. We fast forwarded a couple days, and Teak, the orc innkeeper, asked the group if they would keep an eye out for his brother, who tends to cause problems when he shows up, and he's planning on showing up at the festival, and ended with a shot of a strange, mysterious orc coming over the bluffs, leading a small pack of chained skeletons. And that is where we're going to begin. What would you guys like to do? So it is currently about the sun has just broken the overcasted clouds. Everything outside has a little bit of dew from the fog that has rolled in from the Syri River, and which again is pretty nearby. It's not super close, but it's nearby enough that when this town used to be into weapons manufacturing, they used the river to move a lot of their shipments during the war. So there's everything is a little bit chilly, a little bit cold, but already, even from your rooms, you can smell the heavens of cooking from both the inn below you, the tavern below you, and also the streets. You can already hear hawkers out trying to sell their wares to people in the streets. Peeking out the window, you can see that the town is more filled with people now than it has been as it's been building up to this day. But which you knew was going to happen. You'd been told that travelers from all over Karnath and the Talenta Plains and elsewhere would show up to celebrate in Semblance. And sure enough, it looks like they have.
So, at least Duke is going to set out in the morning after prepping the stew for the morning, or the leftover for breakfast. I'm going to go check out and scope out with his amazing, wonderful, and very, very attractive hat to go scope out the fighting for where Gromon's going to be winning.
Okay, so that is what Duke is going to be doing. How about you, Arthur?
We'll go out for breakfast and wait for everybody to gather.
Okay.
Did we haven't seen the guy show up yet, right?
No.
Okay.
You have not. So Grafler's going to be waiting for everybody to come downstairs.
Some breakfast and wait.
Okay. The breakfast this morning is it's actually kind of interesting. You've gotten kind of used to breakfast being stews or soups, usually made from the meal from yesterday. But this morning it is mostly fruits and that you don't recognize, and danishes. And the danishes are all shaped like small. I mean, you kind of have to squint to make out the shapes, but they're all weapons. And you can pretty easily assume it's weapons that Semblance was known for making. So it would seem that Pat, in the kitchen, with probably Duke's help, has made these very intricate, kind of overgrown pastries. And she seems more than happy to hand them out this morning.
They were the perfect size when it was cold.
That's right. What are you gonna do, Yuji?
Well, I've already been awake for hours. Ever since the sun just barely started rising.
Okay.
I'm awake. I'm in the highest point I can find, either a building, tree, whatever. Just scoping out everything going on. Just amazed by all the activity. And I most likely have like a pear or something in my mouth, and I'm just watching everything in awe.
Okay. You choose something that looks like a pear you kind of recognize, but you can see that it is very different. The skin is almost like a bright purplish color. When you bite into it, it's a very almost acidic green color. But the flavor is what you would expect from a pear, just a little bit more almost exotic and spicy.
Well, I'm very impressed by it and glad I have at least 2 more in my pocket.
Is that cinnamon?
I put cinnamon in the fruit.
People.
With a screwdriver.
Yeah. Sure. Tenno, you are feeling better this morning than you have in probably the last week. You've been slowly getting more and more energy and feeling a little bit better to get up. This morning, nobody would even be able to tell that you were sick.
Tenno very much relies on kind of having a good handle on the energy and the cultural zeitgeist. So being a week out of listening to things is cause for some caution. So Tenno's going to join Grokthar and keep the ears out to listening, see what's the mood of the people, what are they talking about, are they occupied with fears, are they occupied with hopes, are they occupied with excitement, and just keeping the ears wide.
Okay. So are you doing that from just hanging out in the tavern? Or are you going to take a walk?
While doing breakfast and while hanging out with Grokthar.
Okay. Awesome. I will get back to you. Dari. I'm assuming you were also up with the sun.
Yes, Dari was up with the sun and she got ready very early. She is in her armor, surprisingly, even the festivities that are going on today with her.
Well, all things being equal, this would probably be a celebration that you would want to be dressed in your armor for.
Yes.
It's a celebration of battle and weaponry and
The war effort.
So yeah, that makes sense.
She is wearing the hat that she had gotten a couple days ago on her head.
Okay.
Best she can, considering the horns.
Roman's gonna bring in the money.
That's right. So, for those of you watching, as a reminder, it is the festive knitted and felt hat celebrating one of the soldiers or fighters from today called Gromon. And it is a sky blue cap, fitted cap, with 2 orange and yellow flowers where you might have goggles up above. Most of them look stretched in weird places and like they were knitted or crocheted quickly.
So maybe I imagined it wrong, but in my head, I kept imagining where those flowers were like 3 inches out. Like it was almost like they were 3 inches above. So you had the hat, and they were kind of flopped 3 inches and flopped.
That does not change what the purpose is. So done.
Okay.
So sky blue with flowers sticking out.
Yep.
From the area where like goggles
like
would
2
be.
inches, 2 inches of like blue fabric, and then the flower. So kind of
almost like flower antennas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just fine.
Dari had gotten herself some breakfast, and she went out into the town to explore and basically like.
Do you have weapons on you?
Yes.
What weapons?
Dari
All of them.
currently has her. Dari currently has her mace that was that she had gotten last time.
The new mace, okay.
The new mace.
That she took from defacing the familial.
A memorial. What do you call that?
From where the family's ashes were kept. That one. That mace.
The altar.
You know, I hate
The family
I
altar.
really
That
do.
poor guy.
That's your father.
I don't care.
No, the mace was in a box, not being used. It's not like you defaced anything, and he said you could keep it. So.
After time for his life, but that's fine.
All right.
You all.
You saved his life, and he wanted you to keep it, to use it. Because if you remember, he and his family were from the same country as you.
So Daria has brought her mace with her and her crossbow.
And a crossbow. Okay?
Yes.
But they're like hanging from straps and stuff. You're not like.
No.
Yeah.
No.
She's got that verbal weapon, the cutting remarks.
They're cutting remarks, yeah. Okay, alright, cool. And you're walking through town. Awesome. Vodka.
It's devour when you eat weapon-shaped pastries in the tavern.
Okay. Yep.
Happily.
What did you do with, for one, the maps and stuff that you were working on?
They are up in her room. She probably has a few maps, a trade routes going to farm maps right now that she's looking at in the local area. Nothing too.
Those are the ones you'd be able to get here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what she's going over right now.
Okay. As a note, and I'll have to circle back to it, but you never opened the letters you got from your mom. Just putting that out there. Vic,
Fine, it's morning. I guess I'll go look through the letters my mom sent me.
I'll circle
We'll
back.
do that.
We have just regular bags, right? We don't have magic bags of holding.
I don't think you guys have received or purchased a bag of holding yet.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, your guys' magical items are pretty sparse.
There are vendors here for magical items on this
There are?
on the strip.
And Victor.
So I'm guessing I'm done babysitting Tenno.
Yep. Tenno is
So-
up and looking good and has been looking better and better every morning.
So I guess I'll just go downstairs with the others. I'll have my armor and my old military trench coat that has all the Syri insignias on it, and keep my swords with me, and also my hand cannon is loaded.
Just as a note, were you wearing this jacket moving through town before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I have a new rule: if it has more than 6 legs, run away.
Yeah, probably.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I can.
So you
I
just
think everybody has a rule.
Roll me and Tenno, please roll me a perception check with advantage.
Perception with advantage.
Because you are focusing, and really all you're trying to do is listen to the people you're walking by and you're sitting with.
Is he trying to
18.
18. Yeah, that's good enough. As you are making your way through kind of I pictured you getting up, stretching, going down and getting breakfast, kind of making your way around the tavern, and because you've been in bed a lot. And this is so I probably didn't accurately describe how the tavern looks this morning. It's packed. You have seen it filled, because as things have been stepping up, this tavern is one of the only places where you can get a warm breakfast every morning. And so it's been full a lot lately. It's packed now. And so as you are kind of moving around and getting your table, you guys have a table set aside anyway, which is a table that usually Teak or Pat or some of the serving boys use themselves. It's been kind of taken over by you guys for the recent time. But as you're moving through, you get an air and kind of a feeling of excitement, pride, maybe a little bit of patriotism or nationalism from the Karnathi.
Well, there's a difference. Which is it?
Patriotism. from the Karnatsis that are from this area, because it sounds like, from what you're hearing, Semblance is one of the few towns that actually celebrates in this manner. A lot of the larger towns in Karnath don't even celebrate like this. And so people from all over have been on the trail for a while coming in. And so it's pretty full, pretty packed.
It's a big party.
It's a big party.
It's Burning Man.
Kind of, yeah. And you're definitely getting a not fearful. No one's afraid. People are really laid back this morning. And as you are kind of making your way around, it seems that only about half of them are people that have been here as performers getting ready for the shows. So a solid half came in last night, or yesterday, or this morning, and are here for this celebration. And the whole build-up for this celebration is for 3 days. Usually, this celebration, those of you that know about Karnath and Karnathi holidays, which is up to you on whether you know or not, it's a 1-day celebration, but in Semblance it's 3. Dari. I'm sorry, Yuji. What did you say you were doing as well?
I'm watching everything from a high point.
From like maybe an overlook?
Yeah.
At the end of the hallway?
We're building trees.
So at the end of the hallway that has your guys' rooms on it, there's a door that opens up to a balcony. I was gonna say a second-story patio, which is a balcony.
It's fancy though. It's like
a balcony that overlooks a good portion of this close area. You can see a fairly large well, multiple buildings, and stages that are set up. People that are milling around. People that are quoting great poets from Breland and from. You see a very, very, very large humanoid with dark, ruddy skin and a big, bright orange beard. He is quoting something in a language I don't think you know.
What's the language?
Giant.
Nope.
And it's very guttural, but even the words he's using, even though it's very guttural, it almost sounds like Klingon. It's very guttural, but even the way he's saying it, you can feel the beats and know he's reciting poetry. Give me a perception check.
17.
As he's moving, because he's almost making movements as he's quoting whatever he's saying. He's wearing a cape, a half cape, that's sewn together of a lot of smaller pieces because he's a big guy, right? And you can see that most of the patches are sewn together in a way to make the symbol of Droan, which is a small country to the southwest that that you have heard of because you're not from here. But the way people talk about it, it's a country of monsters.
That explains the giants.
Yeah.
Now, do I know all?
Go ahead.
Wasn't the point.
Okay. And you said you were walking around, Dari. You see the same that I just mentioned, but you also see handfuls and handfuls of merchants that are selling just tons of different things. You see a bunch of merchants, just tons and tons and tons of merchants, chefs, people running back and forth, a whole bunch of tourists. But you also see plays, trades, and a young boy runs by you and shoves a small piece of paper into your hand, and you can see that he has handfuls of these small rolls of paper that he's handing out to people as he's running by.
Can I see what's on the paper?
Yeah, as you open it, you can see that there is a big advertisement for something called The Pit, where they're going to have hand-to-hand combat, something called Monster Mash, weapons and gear demonstrations, archery tests, throwing tests, strength and lifting contests, a bunch of stuff in something called The Pit throughout the next 3 days.
The Pit.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be offended.
I've heard of the pit before, correct?
Huh?
I've heard of the pit
You don't wanna do
You
the
guys
next
walked
match?
by
It's a
something
graveyard
that was
smash.
probably The Pit. It was a large fighting circle, if you remember. 2 guys were practicing in it, and ended up knocking things over by the temple. So you're pretty sure that's The Pit. Okay, the rest of you, you're back at the inn, and it is full. It is very, very loud.
Well, seeing if there's any vending for bags. The problem is, I guess, what the rough cost of a bag of corn would be. So I have no relative idea of if I would be even looking for something like that. If I have 100 gold, so I don't know if I'm even close to.
I think you are going to be.
Saying I'm 100 gold.
So I looked, and I couldn't find anything with a number. They're just like, here's the pages on, and it's like that doesn't tell me at all what.
I think that you are going to be not happy with the pricing I give you.
Well, I'm sure it's probably in several hundreds or thousands, maybe a few platinums. But I don't know. I'm assuming my character would know if I'm grossly underestimating, so I don't try to look into a Tiffany's when I'm expecting Walmart.
So it's not cheap. You might be able to find something bargain style with what you have, but they tend to run 5 or 6 times that much.
So when did you steal grass from the sewer?
So then, I basically made my way back. Do I see a lot of the Gromon fans in the group?
You don't. You do not see a lot of people that are obviously Gromon's fans as you're walking through.
So my scowl's getting worse as I'm walking and seeing the idiots around me that can't recognize the greatness.
So as you make your what? What's up?
Can Dari see where he is?
Roll me a perception check at disadvantage because there's a lot of people and Duke is not tall. As you are pushing your way towards the big fighting ring, you actually make out there's where you guys were walking by it before. It was stands around a circular prepared field, but now there are actually huge tapestries that are hung from different sections, and you can see one for Gromon. He is a blue minotaur.
So Duke sees what I'm assuming are all equal on a pole. I'm assuming they're like a big long pole.
It's like a big. So let's picture the pit as a circle.
Yeah.
There are
posts everywhere.
Posts and then things that go across the posts to create almost like a rim around the top.
Yeah.
And the tapestries are hanging from that rim, from those boards. And so the tapestries hang probably 10 feet, but they're pretty high above, so you can see them pretty far off.
You see they're hanging on boards?
They are hanging from. I'm trying to describe it. Like a scaffolding. There's like a thin scaffolding that goes around the top of the pit.
So Duke has one of his cheaper backup knives and daggers.
Okay.
And stealthily as he can, climbs his way up to that.
You have been doing this long enough.
Yeah.
You know, trying to do something stealthily with hundreds of people around and watching
It's easy
you.
because they're all doing their own thing. So he makes his way up.
Go ahead and roll climbing
So
at
Only goblin in the whole city.
disadvantage.
So
Are you the only goblin in the city?
He's one of the. If there are other goblins, you haven't seen any.
I was gonna ask, what is the general population of Carnathia?
So
What'd you roll?
the first one was an 8, and now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna go with. The second one was a 20, a nat 20.
Yeah. So no.
So hold on.
Not a 20.
Is it climbing?
Yeah.
I don't have climbing as an option. You mean acrobatics?
Athletics.
What is the general population of the
Nine.
living Carnathies?
mostly
Bonus
human.
acrobatics.
A handful of dwarves because dwarves live in the moorholds to the east.
Yeah.
But mostly human. There are a larger number of orcs and actually some hobgoblins that live in the western reaches of Karnath, but mostly human.
So, if you're a citizen of Karnath, regardless of your species or race, you become an undead?
That's a very good question. Roll me a history to see if you know that information.
I would like to make a case for acrobatics, as I'm not trying to carry anything beyond my own self and just getting up there as quick as I can. There's not as much extra.
It's athletics.
Okay.
What did you get?
9.
So a 9, you still scramble up there,
Yeah.
but you are not quiet, and you are very much noticed. And people are what? What do you think he's doing? Who is that?
So I take one of my weaker daggers, like one of the just kind of junk ones from throwing. I put it on the post, so it's sticking, I guess, point down, but the hilt is up. And I take, as I'm straddled up there, I take the rope and bring it up a little bit and tie it over onto that dagger, so his flag stilts higher than all the others. By a dagger's worth.
Okay, so the tapestry, the painted tapestry that was for Groman, is an inch askew now, as it's there now, but it is a dagger's height, a dagger's hilt taller than the other.
As it should be. And we go way back.
You hear cheering from 2 people way at the back, amongst everyone else who's like trying to figure out what the hell you're doing. And the 2 people you note are also wearing Gromon hats.
Gromon!
It's the crazy people.
What did you roll for
I've
perception?
got a hat too. I don't even talk about it. Yeah, you do.
I rolled
I really do that.
well.
Okay. Especially you guys in the back, you're going to have to talk a little bit louder just to make sure we pick you up on the mic. You rolled a 12. You definitely saw Duke, especially as he started climbing up to the top to mess with one of the tapestries.
Oh, goodness
First of all,
gracious.
it's not messing, I enhance.
To enhance one of the tapestries.
Okay, you
Saw
know, I'm
Goblin
just
with
going
zest
to
and
pretend I did not see
Goblin.
that, and just I'm going to look around for some sleeping stalls.
Okay. So most of what you guys are seeing to purchase are event related. There are a lot of weapons dealers. A lot. And many of them are not great, but there are a lot of them. Some of them selling weapons of war, things, artifacts and icons from the war, stuff like that, because that's part of what this day celebrates, is essentially the god of war. So that is that. What did you roll?
Oh, 15.
15? You're not sure.
Okay,
It would make sense. It would make sense that if you are a paying citizen, that is something you do as well. However, you've also heard that it's volunteers.
okay, yeah, it's volunteers. It's just there is a potential for not all human skeletons being in there.
It would not be all human skeletons.
Okay.
Because you know, absolutely sure you've seen it, Karnathi necromancers raising enemy troops that were not human.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
What's up?
Oh. Is it okay if I look for a specific kind of stall thing?
Yeah, I think Duke is as well. So I'd like both of you to roll perception.
Well, I looked, I didn't find one.
Okay, or investigation. Sorry, investigation. The ruling is, if you're actively searching for something, it's investigation. What were you saying, Bonke?
Okay,
makes sense.
so this is about wars. Which wars and
The 100-Year War.
okay, but what?
What
Refresh
specific-
my memory. What side was Drome on that?
So, in the 100-Year War, the whole continent was doing their part. Droam didn't exist until a little bit ago, because the monstrous races needed some place that was home for them, and since they were being chased out and murdered everywhere else, they decided to carve a very small piece. Ironically, probably not ironically actually, now that I say that word, that's not the right word. Coincidentally, it's mostly swamplands that most people don't want, and that's why they have it.
This is a festivities of war, meaning they're showing fallen enemies. What do the fallen enemies look like?
This is a celebration of battle. In general, yes.
Did they take this land from the people that had it before, or was it like given to them as a result of the peace talks that said everything in non-war at the same time?
I'm gonna say this part of Karnath that you're in right now has been Karnath for a very long time.
No, I'm talking about Joma.
Oh, Joam?
Yeah.
Joam was almost like I think it's more like
no man's land, no one wanted it.
It's almost like a reservation. They gave them the worst little part of there next to
So Joam actually isn't recognized as a country.
Yet.
It is a principality that is kind of like when the United States were being formed, and there was an area of land that was given.
We say it's a DMZ. It's DMZ has a width. It's the DMZ between countries.
But it's its own space down there. Okay. Anyway, you do not, other than, well, you're not even outside yet, but other than the giant, there isn't a lot of showing for Drowan. As you are moving around, and you're also very young, I believe, right, Dari? And you're also very young, because you're a goblin.
Yeah, I mean, I guess older for a goblin and middle-aged.
Yeah. But you haven't been around for a large number of years. But you still recognize a lot of the iconography of a lot of the countries that are pact countries that are here, both on the people celebrating and on the people that are performing. Okay.
Now, would you say, is that normally like a patch on something? Is that like, how would people normally celebrate and show
often it's the colors that they're wearing, or a patch on their breastplate or their armor. Sometimes you can see it on a weapon if it's been stamped into the weapon because it was created by a certain maker in a certain country.
It's very obvious.
A lot.
Purposeful.
So in Corvair, the continent you guys are on, patriotism for your country is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Especially after 100 years war.
Yep. When Victor earlier was talking about how Victor is wearing the jacket that has Syrian logos and stuff, it's not just the jacket. He also has Syrian logos on him because he was made during the war, crafted during the war, and is also a soldier. So part of the armor that makes up his flesh is marked.
So if you look under his foot, is it going to say name Syria?
It's going to say Andy on the bottom.
That actually kind of is a half-joking real question. Would I had the name of what your thing is?
From Syri?
No. Warforged. Would there be a maker's mark in a sense?
Yes.
Well,
He does have.
Dragon mark, what's it called?
So
that's just one race, right?
Well, okay, so dragon marks are something different. But you have a house mark.
Right.
From the House to Kenneth, which are the specific families that made all of the Warforged.
Oh, so there's not other countries making Warforges?
Yeah, there were countries, but they hired one family to make. Warforged came from all over. They were made for a whole bunch of different ones because they were a weapons maker family, and they
had no allegiance, except money.
The families live all over. They're not beholden to any one place.
Yeah.
And they try to stay out of politics. Well, they try to stay out of national politics.
Out of national politics. And some of them.
No, I should say international. They try to stay out of international politics.
Some of them are very patriotic still. There's a grouping of.
Stark Industries.
There's a grouping of the Kenneths that are in Breland and live in Sharn and love Sharn. Anyway.
World building was fantastic.
Yuji, You know what? We're gonna go with who's outside the inn and who's inside the inn. So currently, inside the inn
I'm on my way back, so whenever they
Is-
finish, I finish walking.
Gruffer, Yuji, Tenno, Vodka, and Victor. So what are you guys doing inside the inn currently?
Oh, I thought we went outside.
Did you?
No, he was
We're
sitting
gonna-
there.
I
just
think
eating.
we're gonna get up and go wherever, checking out the facilities. I was
Okay, ready, let's
pretty,
go.
I
So
was
as
pretty
you-
much outside,
at-
just reading.
As you got up to head out, Duke disappeared. Duke was gone into the crowd, which doesn't really surprise you. It's not the first time that's happened. It won't be the last time that's happened. But he disappears into the crowd. So what are the rest of you doing?
I'm going through the stalls, trying to just find the most interesting stuff, or anyone who has any references to boxers who may have fought in war.
As you are making your way around, you specifically, you're drawing a lot of attention. No one has seen what you are as a fox hybrid. No one has ever seen that before. So
In this
Hostile
area,
attention,
You're uncommon.
hostile, or
About
just curious.
you're a very rare race, a rare species.
the eyes on me probably make me just a little self-conscious. So I put my.
He's trying to be supremely bottom.
You pull your hood up and you notice that you're getting a lot less attention. For multiple reasons, but also because people that do notice that you kind of move differently or they don't recognize what you are, they see that you're trying not to make a big deal about it, so they give you that. They don't draw a lot of attention to you. But you're gonna make your way around looking for kind of neat stalls.
Yeah, just like shiny stuff, anything that just draws attention.
Okay. Tam?
I'm gonna try to network with some of the local street performers, doing street performances along with them, talking to them. Hey, let me buy you a drink while we talk about what good places there are to work the streets and what you may have heard or I might have heard. My particular street performance is going to be a sword swallowing act
Okay.
with an improbably curved sword, by which I mean minor illusion.
That's neat.
I can swallow a sword that looks wickedly curved, and it looks like you shouldn't be able to do that. It would come out the chest. Yeah, it would. It's not real. It's a minor illusion.
Yeah. Okay. I'll circle back.
And I can roll performance for that.
I need a
or
performance
what
roll,
have you.
and I think we worked out a Bardric roll that you've been rolling for your gathering information.
Mhm.
Roll that as well, please.
Are they getting extra money, like the performers?
You note that
I am trying to get money too.
some of them are gaining some funds as they are performing, but most of them right now are not. It seems that most people are wanting to save their money to make sure they don't need it for other things during the day. But any of you that have performed know that around midday to evening, you're going to be pulling in a lot more money than you are first thing in the morning. Greta.
I'm just going to center of town to check out the fighting.
Okay, so as you are making your way kind of near the pit, towards the pit, because that's where the pit is, you also end up with one of those small scrolls that talks about the events.
Is this people that have already entered or can't enter?
This is a listing of events, and then you see down at the bottom, and this is something I didn't mention to you, Dari. Down at the bottom, it says taught to amazing grace for entry.
Really?
Yeah,
to be a participant?
to be a participant.
As in you can fight Roman?
Yep,
I would prefer not to do that.
that's fine. I'm just saying what's on the rule.
I want to fight Roman.
I
Only
don't
Roman.
think they would like it if I blasted someone into
Is he out there?
oblivion.
Roman? You don't see him. Nobody's out. There are people out, like, practicing punches and stuff, but you can tell it's very staged. You also know, because you guys have been here for a couple days, right? For a while. You saw them building mobile sets that they will be using later today for plays in this auditorium. Battle plays in this auditorium.
If you sizing up the fighters, would I think they're more skilled or less skilled than I am?
There are some that are more skilled than you, but most of them are less skilled than you.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna look for the person to see about entering.
Okay. Alright, I'll come back to you. That's what you're doing. What did you get, Tana?
19 on rumors, 21 on performance.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I have +8 because expertise.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. You, as you are making your way through the group of performers you kind of settle on, they have an aleman. They're like parked right next to a small pop-up ale house, and they are from a small nomadic town in Naomi. Do you have the maps? Is it the Eldar Reaches?
Hold on a second. I'm reading how the binding rails work. And where are we looking for? Those are the Elder Reaches up here. Then there's
The Eldar Reaches. Is that what it's called?
yeah, Elden Reaches.
Elden Reaches.
Eldine. Because it's too easy.
I mean, there's a map, a bigger map of it. I just can't.
I have a map right here. Eldine Reaches. Yeah.
So they're from the Elden Reaches, and they are mostly dancing, playing music. Once you tell them what you want to do, they're all about it because they haven't had somebody that can do that before, and might add in an extra draw.
Oh, yeah. Also worth noting, when I start performing, I'm wearing a different face.
Yeah, I figured. You, as you are performing, you note that most of them are getting smaller cups, but they're getting ale for free from the ale house.
Also, I can offer to be Barker for them as well because I can use minor illusion to make my voice loud and booming.
Sure. It's not very long before you have a small group of people watching. And I'll get back to your rumors in a second. Vodka and Victor.
I know I want to go and get more information on the different events of the day.
Okay.
And kind of what they entail.
Okay. So you're gonna go and try to find somebody that has the information?
Yeah.
Okay. As you are actively pursuing, you see there are signs up for some of the bigger plays, and you're able to find one of these small scrolls laying on the ground that talks about the events in the pit. So, did you remember me telling you about the events in the pit?
There was some, I heard monster
So,
mash.
there's hand-to-hand combat,
Okay.
something called Monster Mash,
Mm-hmm.
weapons and gear demonstrations, archery tests, throwing tests, strength and lifting contests.
Okay.
And then on the big signs that you see for plays, you see that there is something called the Tournament of Flame. There's the Battle of Cold Cove. There's Dark Flame Hill. And the Battle at the Blade. They're happening, all of those are happening once a day for the next 3 days.
Alright, I'm gonna want to investigate what this whole monster mash thing is. And what it entails.
So as you are looking at the sheet of paper, the only thing that it says is near the bottom. It says "Not to Amazing Grace" for entry.
Well, I'm gonna find out what it means. So I'm gonna go find Amazing Grace.
Okay, Victor.
So I'm gonna go to one of those weapons/artifact vendors and just see if.
So
there's
when I
anything-
say artifact, I don't mean like powerful magical item.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if any of it's actually real or if it's
Find a diamond
they're
as well.
just selling a bunch of trinkets. Yeah.
Or he thinks he's selling a new shill and it actually ends up being gold.
So you make your way up to Alphonse Artifacts and Sundries, and it's a tall tent, like canvas tent that is brightly colored in colors you recognize. Bright blues and bright yellows of Siberian forces.
Oh.
You see it's been patched, but it is a strangely comforting sight. And as you kind of push open the tent flap, there's a comfortable older man that pushes himself up gently from a chair and says, "Oh, a lieutenant."
Sergeant.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long time.
Sorry.
And you can see he leans heavily on a cane, and as he gets closer, you can see his eyes are mostly cataracts. But his accent and his clothing are definitely he is also a survivor. Surrounding him, hanging on the edges of the tent, and a couple tables around, and across the floor, there's a couple boxes that have things. You can see a whole bunch of knickknacks, rusted objects, weaponry, armor, a lot of Syrian, Brayland, Arender, like stuff from this area, devices, pins, patches, stuff like that. Most of the weapons and armor you see are pit marked, pitted. But give me a history roll to see if you're able to kind of remember and pick out what might be true and what might be not.
18.
18. You guys are rolling really well. There's a handful that are obvious reproductions, very obvious. But you find maybe 2 or 3 objects that you might be interested in.
Okay.
One is a sword that is a long sword that is stamped with the crest of both the family Decant, like the Dragon Mark Decant house, and Siberian forces, and it has a scabbard and everything. It's a little pot, but I mean it looks like a very old blade. You find a shield that is, I mean, if what it says on the tag is true, it was in a lot of the same battles you were in. And you find a small journal that was in the bottom of one of the boxes that is the journal of what seems like a little girl at the very end of the war, written in Syrian hand. So it is a Syrian dialect of common. The rest of it looks pretty bumbled.
How much for the journal and this sword?
He moves back and starts peering through a couple different books and ledgers. I can give you both of those for 3 gold.
Done. Hand it over.
He starts laughing.
He laughs like an old man chuckle and says, "Daddy's gonna eat tonight." And he puts the 3 gold into a pouch.
I thought you said 300.
No. Yeah, 300 silver.
And then he thanks you very much for your patronage and says, "Remember, Alphonse Antiques and Artifacts and Sundries.
Sure thing.
Put the name out there.
I will.
You take care of yourself, son."
You too, old man. And I'll go back to...
Old man. I'm 25.
I haven't been called old man
He's seen
until 5 years ago.
That's what a movie there. My bad, that was on.
Okay,
It is.
what are you doing, Dari?
Dari is looking for stalls that catch her eye, specifically stalls that are selling either animals, which I don't think there's going to be many of, or stalls that
Like
are
a butchery shop?
love you, but no.
Okay.
They have owl
Or-
legs.
Sad. I'm gonna snap her these days. Or anything that seems draconic.
That's a weird pull, but okay. Yuji, you're looking for stalls that look shiny and neat, and
much,
you were
yeah.
looking for stalls that might have.
So Duke has decided to set up his own stall. Basically, I had a sign. I took a board from one of the other stalls and wrote on it. I hid my hat, and for 5 copper each, prophecies.
I'll come back to you. I was thinking I could move you into the looking at stalls grouping, but you made your own stall.
I just read some history and I understand why the blood hole is kind of like not frowned upon here now. So
You probably shouldn't have read that.
I would need to know about the city.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
History's my thing.
History is your thing. Okay. As Dari and Yuji are making your way through kind of the streets, you bump into each other. There are a lot of people here, but you're kind of on Merchant Row. And you both see. Give me investigation rolls. I think you may have already done that, Yuji. Did you give me an investigation already?
No, I haven't done
Okay.
it.
Investigation, please.
They happen to see me. Hello, young people that I've never met. Come have your prophecy read.
I
19.
rolled
So I know to avoid that one.
Huh?
I rolled a 6.
As you are you're very enthralled, and there's a lot going on. Most of the religious areas that you've been around are not this colorful or loud, and so you're kind of distracted. But you're able to kind of follow along with Yuji, and Yuji, you find a jewelry, weaponry, clothing shop that's been set up. It is an elderly woman. She looks to be maybe half orc, maybe. Kind of hard
Is
to
she
tell.
25 too?
No, she's elderly.
She's an older woman, graying of hair with nice wrinkles, like friendly wrinkles, and is dressed in colors of Karnak from here. The blanket she has set out on top of the table has tapestry stories of some of the battles, and you can tell this is the tapestry blanket she brings out for this event. And she has a couple things laying out that both Dari and you see. Sitting next to her shop is a simple lettered sign that says Prophecies by
Five
Copper,
copper.
with a familiar goblin sitting behind, his legs bowed over each other with his eyes closed as if he's communing with spirits.
I nudged Dari. You should get your prophecy.
So, that's what you see. Dari and Yuji and Duke.
What on that little stall then for the old lady that looks the most interesting?
Interesting?
Yeah.
Or interesting?
Perception, probably. How well are you seeing things in there? There's a lot of stuff that's.
There are.
What is she got like a variety of stuff from what you said, but what's the most eye catching?
Probably the jewelry. A lot of it looks very finely crafted. A lot of really nice wire work with some gemstones and polished stones. Some of it jade. Some of it stones you don't really recognize from your time on the island. She also has some that seem to have very fine pearls and seashells that seem to be wrought out of metal. So somebody did some really nice filigree and some really nice crafting to make metal look like seashells that you recognize. And it's all spun in very fine silver.
Am I able to touch it, or?
As you kind of start moving up to it, you can see she moves closer to the table. Apparently, somebody might have tried stealing something earlier today.
Well, I don't intend to steal it.
And she doesn't.
I just can't resist touching it.
She doesn't like move as if she expects you to steal it. She's just moving closer in case you're gonna try to steal it. And she nods as you kind of reach out towards it. What about you, Dari?
Dari, now distracted by this, by the tent of jewelry and goods, basically.
I'm not for sale.
I'm gonna snap one of these days. Since
I thought the sign
Yeah,
said-
that's
I
I think
thought the
that's
sign
gonna be
said five
your quote because you said it so many times.
yeah, okay.
What are you doing?
I would like to look at the dresses she has.
At the dresses?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see that they're hanging off to the side, right next to where Duke is still sitting, and they seem to be made of fine. Very. I mean, some of them are older, and they have a kind of smell to them a little bit. Like maybe she kept them in a trunk until she comes out here every year. But they're very finely made. They are older style, but you can tell that they are made of fabrics familiar to this country and designed in the fashion of Karnas, if not 40 years ago. But you do kind of recognize it, and a couple of them look like they might even be able to fit you. The jewelry you touch are cool to the touch.
I look at the old lady and I pull out one of my pairs. I have a pair.
Ah, yes, I see. You have a very nice pair.
Can I have that one?
For a pair? I'm sorry, son. That's...
Wait. I pull out the second pair.
If we're talking trade, you for two pairs, you're looking a pair of pairs. You're looking more in this area, and she indicates to a couple, like a handful of rings that are down towards the bottom. Not necessarily the necklaces that look like they took a lot more of her time to build.
But I can get any of these rings for these pairs?
I would say one of these four rings for the pairs, yes. And
What kind of rings are we looking at?
so two of them are silver. They look like kind of like bands, just normal bands, but they are very nice and very shiny. One is a golden wire ring, so it's made of wire, like several bands of wire, and it holds what looks like a small chunk of gold, though you recognize it's not actually gold, it's pyrite or fake gold. And the third one is a ring that looks to be made of jade. It doesn't look like it belongs with these others.
I pick up the jade one. How about this one?
I think that is a fine trade, yes.
Well, this deal is complete. I hand you the pairs.
She takes the pairs, chuckling to herself, and says, "It's a good trade. Happy day to you."
Thank you. And I put the ring on. I just got the big smile on my face.
And you die.
She takes one of the pairs and shines it on her bodice and looks at it, and takes the other pair and drops it into the small plate that's been set before the goblin prophesizer next to her.
Ooh, a pair.
Sweet stuff is getting everywhere.
No. Duke has his ways.
Dari, did you have any other actions? You said you were looking at dresses.
Yes.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Tenno, you have your group has made 16 copper, 2 silver,
Good monetary.
and they apparently this group, who call themselves the Crafty Kobolds, though none of them are kobolds. They call themselves the Crafty Kobolds. They tried to stay in the so this town is mostly on the plains. There's a small cropping of trees to the north. They tried to stay in that cropping of trees. There's like ruins in there and what they thought was maybe a church. They tried to stay there last night, the night before, and thought they were safe, but people just disappeared from their group. They weren't sure if they got scared off or what happened, but there were 11 of them, and then there were 9 of them, and then there were 8 of them, and that's the 8 that are here today.
You said they're the what kobolds?
The crafty
Crafty.
Where is
kobolds.
it? Where is it? Where's it gone?
Friggin' dog.
It's
Okay, Victor, what are you doing now?
I guess I'll go try and find Vodka, make sure she hasn't gotten into any trouble.
Roll me a perception check.
in trouble. I'm just making sure
3.
they're not
She's in
mashing
trouble.
any monsters.
11.
What'd you roll? Doesn't matter. She's in trouble.
You're only in trouble if you get caught.
Breakfast.
She's in trouble.
No,
Yeah.
yet.
That you know of.
At all. No one's. I
11.
saved
Nobody
you
saw
from
me do
fight.
anything wrong.
And she says, curse these countries. And then
As you make your way kind of out further into the group, you think you might have seen, because she's not small, you might have seen someone with her hair color disappearing into the crowd towards the pit.
Oh, okay, I'll head that way.
As the camera pulls back and zooms in over at the pit, you see, yes.
I have something else I'm doing too after you wrapped up.
Okay, what's up? Oh, after I wrapped up with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Groxar, you are kind of peering out, trying to find who Amazing Grace might be. And as you kind of make your way through, getting a good eye, you can see that while there are people in the pit, shadowboxing essentially, there is a woman who is taking care of making sure everything is right in the middle of the pit for the fights and making sure that the cages are in the right place and that they're going to have adequate firelings and that people aren't going to be stomping all over each other if something goes wrong. She is a beautiful woman of above average height and dark, smooth skin. She's wearing what looks like robes of someone who fights with their hands. Flowing robes that...
human?
Flowing robes that make you think she might be able to punch a hole through them. But she has a voice that carries in kind of a deep tenor as she's calling out for people that are helping build and helping set up and that kind of stuff. And you hear someone say, "Aye, Grace," and then go back to what they're doing.
Well, I go up to her and say, how can I join the fight, the pit fight?
Oh, you're right in time. Right in time. I have a friend that's taking care of most of it. What would you be interested in?
Can I see the Minotaur thing? You said.
I guess he's asking,
Oh,
can you
so
see it?
so you see there, because you're even closer, you see a bunch of posters.
Yeah.
They're tapestry, painted tapestries, but the posters, you see a Minotaur that is blue
Yeah.
with orange horns.
Yeah.
You see several dwarven fighters. You see 2 elves that are obviously archers and stuff like that around them.
Okay, I tell her I want to be in a fight with the Minotaur.
Oh, you're serious.
Is he a badass or?
Well,
Roam on his life.
I can definitely see that. A friend of mine, Charlie, and a gnome runs up, jumps over the wall, the short wall between the audience and the pit, and he's got a very large book in his hand, glasses that are just larger than his eyes, and he runs over and says, "Yes, madam, yes." And they talk for a little bit about
He hears the dogs barking.
They talk for a little bit about things with the pit, and then she says, this man would like to join the fight. He wants to fight Roman, And the gnome laughs and says, "Oh, you're serious?" And he says, "It's a 5 gold entry, sir."
5 gold. Really?
Yes. It's a 5 gold per event, with a purse right now that looks like, and he flips back and forth. Hand to hand, it looks like you could win between 20 and 200 gold a round, depending on how far you make it.
And the fight is hand to hand.
The fight is hand to hand, yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll give her the 5 gold.
Alright, so mark that on your sheet. And he says, "What's your name, sir?"
Guathar.
Ah, Graxar. That's
Yeah,
a
you've heard of
good
me.
sounding name.
You've heard of me.
I have heard of someone that sounds a lot like you, maybe.
But you have heard of me.
But you have heard of me.
Is the guy with the hats for the Minotaur?
Yep.
Come on.
How is no one cheating?
I got a question.
Yes.
Exactly how much gold do we have?
You're supposed
I had 100. Is basically what I had left.
I haven't eaten
But
that
average.
much.
You got started based off of starting gold and what we had for there. We haven't really spent anything in game. I had 100.
Okay.
I have some gems and things like that. So.
I mean, I haven't cashed out any of the gems, but based off of what
I know we had
from
that little chest picked up from that.
Well, before that though, before
We
you,
have- we have the-
before you came on, we
You have 44.
Oh,
So roll the
Okay. All right. So that's you.
The deal with me is before lunch happens, I want to make sure I mention to someone in the Crafty Kobold about the new secret recipe at Dale's
no
Madhouse.
things I can though.
Really? Dale's Madhouse. That place has been closed for a while. Are they still selling food?
How odd. I haven't been there myself, but y'all have been so nice to me. I figured I would pass this.
We haven't checked it out, but last time we were in town, it was closed. They found some bodies in the basement or something.
Oh my.
What?
Well, maybe they've come across better times, or maybe they've moved to Maybe they moved to Fleet Street.
Nice.
They shouldn't have let those bodies in.
You hear one of the others said maybe that's the secret ingredient that the secret recipe you're talking about.
It's people. I hope not.
So it's the people food.
You have a young boy and a young girl, human, that run up to you and they say, "We want our prophecy, but we don't have 5 copper."
Okay. So I look to them as a, crossed here. Yes. Well, I, Tenno, am an honest man.
You say your name is Tenno?
Yep. I'm Tenno, I'm an honest man. And tell your friends all that I, Tenno, will bring prophecies to all. For you, if you shall spread these tales to all, I will give a prophecy to you. Yes. Now lift your hands. Grab on each hand. Yes.
Darius.
Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is you don't have enough coin for this. But the good news is, I will help you. Here are 2 coppers each for you. The prophecy is, if this money is on Gromon, you will be returned many-fold. Now go spread.
They run off. As they let go of your hands, you note that your hands are now sticky.
They're what?
They're sticky.
That's why I don't eat pears.
For a second, I thought you were just gonna lick your hands.
Tenno. They ask if you're nice. They ask if you are interested in going to that place for lunch if it's open.
Oh.
Is that why you're bringing it up?
Yes. Why not? If it's not too far.
Well, I mean, it's down the ways. It's a little off the beaten track, down in the warehouse areas where.
Where the sage lives?
down
Where could go wrong?
in the warehouse areas that are mostly abandoned now.
Well, that doesn't sound like the most.
I mean,
the most profitable area to be working.
definitely not, but that's where the building is.
The prices are.
So never mind that.
Okay.
We can go check it out some other
The
time.
prices are back.
Maybe after this whole thing is over and their prices are back down to normal.
The prices are back to normal. They're to die for.
Nice. Vodka?
See, you can
You
claim
catch up
that
with
you're
Groxar,
me.
and you
I
see
can claim that
Groxar
I'm you
talking
with
to
your face.
a woman
But no, you
who
can't.
you assume is making grace.
Yes.
There's a small gnome that takes 5 gold from Groxar in the pit, and you're still outside the pit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's paying someone to let him die, but okay, that's not fine. Okay,
That's what fighters do.
so centaurs are obviously sentient
Minotaurs?
minotaurs. Are they?
Yeah.
They're sentient people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up when he's done with his deal and be like, "Good luck,"
Yeah.
and ask if the minotaur is a volunteer or if he was volunteered by someone.
Victor, you hit the edge of the pit
Okay.
right now as you see them standing at the center talking to 2 people.
Okay, I'm gonna join them.
Okay. You're asking Grace?
Grace, if
Okay.
the minotaur that is fighting is obviously a great warrior and much loved by the people. We've seen his hats all over the place. Is he a veteran warrior and chose to become in this battle, or was he chosen by someone else?
What's your history? What's the
I
fighting
think
history?
Yeah.
I think he would prefer I say he was chosen by the gods to be the blue bull of legend.
But it's okay. So the gods chose him, not he wasn't conscripted or anything.
But we run a clean show. I don't know what you're
I'm
trying to
just
say.
Double checking. Is he gonna be mashing a bunch of people? Is this the mash?
The mash?
What is this?
The monster mash.
What's the monster mash?
Graveyard smash.
Yeah.
Can be done in a flash.
Who's getting mashed?
We have some of the best hunters and animal gatherers to come out of any country that are capturing large monstrosities to battle in this tournament.
Can I get a list of these monstrosities?
Do you want to put some money down?
Yes.
No, because it's a surprise. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a fair bet.
When is this supposed to start?
Let me see. Let me check the schedule.
It wouldn't be a fair bet.
It looks like the first of these challenges is tonight.
And is there tickets? And do I have to pay more to get one really, really close to the arena?
There are no tickets. The pit is something that is for the celebration. The betting is part of what pays for all of the services.
Okay. And how long from now is it?
It's tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah,
Time is it
just
now?
before dinner. It's like 10 a.m. It's still pretty early.
It's a little excessive for me to sit here all day
Angrily,
waiting to see what animals they are gonna mush. Okay.
we sewed 2 hags and a troll together.
That's how you get yourself beat up by a
That's how you get me with a badly dismayed protest sign saying this is cruelty to monsters.
What's up, Tim?
Can I roll insight to be genre savvy about Dales?
About what?
Genre savvy about Dale's Madhouse and their secret menu.
Oh, sure.
14 plus 4, that's 18. Because I've heard enough information. Warehouse district. There were bodies found there, and they were closed. Open again. What do you have that's cheap? I've got enough to maybe put together. Oh, they're definitely eating people.
You could pretty easily think that. but why that would have been bandied about as a rumor, you're not sure. The way the rumor was passed to you, it sounded more like perhaps it wasn't open on the level because you still have to have certain permits and stuff to make sure you're not poisoning the people that you're serving in town.
They have a health department.
Kind of. They have the city council that takes taxes from you. But it almost sounded like somebody had opened up shop again, but was not following the rules. And possibly something more secretive was happening.
So it doesn't sound like, oh, they're definitely eating people. It sounds like, okay, there's something going on that's secretive.
If I want to turn this in, like you're thinking, if I want to turn this into a campfire story, they're totally eating people, but the chances are they're probably not eating people. Not that that wasn't something that the Carnathian did anymore, or at least that's what the
PR says.
That's what the native PR says. Yeah.
And a rumor that sounds like maybe they're eating people would be a good cover for something else.
Yeah.
If we tell people we're eating people, no one will ever believe we're actually eating people.
All right.
Or a case of if people think that our secret activity is eating people, no one will realize that we're actually trying to summon demons.
The gnome turns to you, Victor, and goes like this. Are you here to try your hand?
I'm just spectating.
Oh, thank God.
Would he say it's God, or is there a God he would say?
Thank the gods.
I just didn't know if there's in the area, a general
A lot of them worship the 8, the wheel, but
So they think the 8 or something would be a...
him specifically, this gnome doesn't. This gnome, the way he looked at you and then slowly stepped back, it makes you think he had seen a Warforged before, and not one that was nice.
36 now. Wait.
Refresh my memory, how long ago did the war end?
Like 5 years ago. Yeah. A handful of years.
There was a 100-year war, and then there's those getting used to years.
I mean,
have I had any more people come by?
This one
No.
clearly adopted.
A couple people chuckle, but nobody stops. Dari and Yuji.
Yes.
Just curious, the little scrolls on the ground that are explaining that's in regards to the pit fighting, right? And they're all over the place?
I mean, there were probably 200 of them, and most people will read them and then didn't care about them, so they dropped them.
Alright. I'm pretty sure I would have picked one up and would have been drawn to the pit fight, and I'm standing right in front of the desk.
The pit? Or the betting desk? Or
Where you sign up for the fight.
So you actually have to find Amazing Grace, who at this moment is standing in the center of the ring, in the center of the pit, with Droxar, Victor, and Vodka. So you recognize them right there. Amazing Grace, the person on the note, must be one of the 2 people they're talking to. What about you?
I am still looking through the dresses, trying to find one that catches me.
As you're looking through the dresses, there's only 5 of them. But you notice Yuji pick up a scroll and walk off.
I feel like I should make sure none of
You can't. You probably can't tell, but my hood just poked up in interest.
They read the scroll, and then you see their ears go.
Okay, I slowly move away from the dresses and up to where the jewelry is, because I would like to look at that before I head over to the pit.
Okay. You see the same jewelry I described before. A lot of it is really fine wire work and metal work. So like seashells or with certain stones or really, really, really nice. Yeah.
Okay. So if I leave, is Duke gonna be there just by himself?
He knows he's
Yeah.
it's a little condescending.
Tenno's doing fine. What are you talking
It's
about?
probably happened. It's probably happened before, and he just felt uncomfortable the entire time.
So like,
She's going to
Sober,
say goodbye to
no,
the lady
drunk.
that wears our Harry.
Thank you,
Me.
sweetie.
If he does, if
She's
he
gonna,
doesn't
she's
bite.
gonna,
You have lovely horns.
she's gonna make her way over to where the pit is, looking at more stalls as she goes, trying to find some men.
You also see them wander off.
So, once she leaves, Duke goes to the lady. Actually, Parrot. By the way, what was the one in the hood looking at?
Oh, one of those scrolls.
Before that, the jewelry.
Oh, he wanted to trade for some jewelry. He had 2 pairs and wanted to trade for some rings or a necklace, but that's not enough for a necklace.
Which necklace was it?
He wasn't specific.
You didn't touch any of them?
I mean, he touched a lot of them. I think he just wanted something pretty. I don't think he was specifically looking for anything.
It's 2 hairs.
Sticky fingers.
this game,
Stickiness from the kids
Yeah.
still.
this game does not have.
I'm looking to see if anybody around people that are not vendors are wearing any of the merchandise of the other fighters.
Of what?
The other fighters.
Oh, yeah, you see people with flags or small toys, stuffed toys that are shaped like some of the other fighters. You see kids with bows that are that have feathers and green strips of leather coming off of them, like the arrows from the fighters that are the elven archers. You see wooden shields that are in the same design as a couple of the heavy, stockier fighters that are in there. You see, there's various other paraphernalia that you see. You make your way over to the pit, and you see all of the rest of them standing in the middle of the pit. You, a little bit behind him, you're heading the same way? I'm asking?
Yes, I was going the same way, but I was also looking at some of the stalls, trying to see if anything caught my eye.
Okay. As you're making your way through, you see some interesting food and some interesting armors and weapons, but nothing that really stands out to you. And you make your way to the pit as well.
Duke, basically, after he looks around, is basically making his way back to the inn, but looking for any stalls with basic cooking recipes.
Cooking recipes?
Yeah.
Give me an investigation. Yuji and Daru, you make your way to the pit. You see them standing out there. Were you looking to spectate, or were you looking to join?
Depends. What was the name of the stuff again?
It is a hand-to-hand fight. Something called the Monster Mash. Something called weapons and gear demonstrations, which isn't really something you can sign up for. Archery tests, throwing tests, and strength and lifting contests.
Alright, I walk up to the group and I like, guys, see this? Monster Mash. This looks like fun.
He
I
says that
guess sign up.
to you guys.
I'm still not quite sure what they mean by monsters that they're mashing. I'm not signed up for that. They won't tell me.
We should sign up.
I'm not mashing any creatures for no reason other than entertainment.
Can we join the Monster Mash?
You can, absolutely. It's teams of up to 4.
I can't.
It's teams of up to 4. It's 5 gold each, but the payouts, if you succeed, are much higher.
No, I'm not. You guys can go do whatever dumb shit you want. I am not getting my hands dirty.
Is she one of the 4?
You don't see any stalls like that.
I'm sorry about the language.
I do not have enough strength to go through this, so I'm just going to spectate.
Up to 4.
It says Monster Mash. You don't know what Monster Mash means. I don't know what Monster Mash means. This sounds awesome.
It's teams of 4 that fight against a monster that we've collected.
What kind of monster?
Can't tell you. That would be cheating.
Oh my god.
Have fun. I'm not gonna participate.
She'll join.
No, I'm not. You know, I'm gonna just watch it get
And you make your way back to the inn?
Yeah.
Okay. Tanner, what are you doing while they're arguing at the pit?
I'm working.
Okay.
I'm acting like I don't know them.
You can go join the monster
Can
mash.
I roll
Are they close
to?
by enough where I can
You
see
make
them?
money.
You
Can I,
what?
can I roll
Are
to
they
find
close
out
by
about
enough
him
to see them?
impersonating me? Wait, is one of you who was there gonna tell me about him impersonating me?
Well, you're still out in the like in the stalls. You haven't seen any of them for a while. Any of the others for a while.
Oh, I should probably go tell.
Any chance I'm gonna he's gonna be like, oh, you're named Jano too? That's funny. I met somebody else called
I
Jano.
didn't know. I actually didn't know if you were naming yourself that with a different face.
Let me roll a stupid check.
Okay.
18. No, I'm on using a different name. I wasn't stupid.
Sure. Last one.
Like I'm using a fake identity, so I'm using a fake name.
What's your fake name, Duke?
All right. So you're interested in the Monster Mash.
Oh no!
Was anyone else interested in the Monster Mash?
I'm going down there to see what they're talking about.
Oh, you were asking if you could see where the monsters are.
Oh no, I was really interested in it. Sounds like fun.
Where,
I don't know what it
but-
entails. I don't know what it
yes,
entails. I don't know
he's
what your
asking about
monster
where the
is, but it
monsters
sounds
were.
awesome.
Yeah, she's not gonna say. Because
You know,
again, that would be
if you
cheating.
take part in the Monster Mash, we can see them.
I know, I'm not taking part in the Monster Mash. You guys are welcome to do what you want. I'm not going to be mashing monsters for entertainment.
Well, what's going on down here?
Have fun. I'm going to go.
You could be in both if you wanted
Oh,
to.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 2.
I like
Really?
eating them monsters. Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're welcome to. I'm going to be going and reading my mom's
Is
letters.
Victor's nearby too, isn't he?
Yep.
I pointed him. He's with us too.
Sure. You don't have to. So probably 2 points. To that.
I'll
One,
cheer you on.
you don't have to have the team ready
Sorry.
by
I
now.
said
You have time.
up to 4. It doesn't have to be. It has to be. It can be 1, 2, 3, or 4.
That being
Four
said,
of us can do it. We can totally do it.
so you don't have to finish registering now. You haven't found the rest of the
The
group that has
Monster
to finish.
Mash.
That's the other part of it. So like those group, there's still 3 other people that
That's
you
a
have to
graveyard smash.
Oh.
Our fourth is
that
gonna be
one was
going
on the
on.
scroll, and
Yep.
she takes out she takes out the scroll out of her bag. She's like,
So what if the monster was an orc? You wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not participating. I might be the monster you're mashing.
So
Vodka stomps off. The camera pans away to see her kidnapped.
Dari.
They cover me in tar and feathers and call me something really fucking random.
I have many
Next,
questions.
family show.
Sorry.
I think she's. It's five gold, right?
5 gold a person.
Oh, person.
Oh.
So if there's 4 of you, it would be a 20 gold entry.
But it's a discount. I'll give it for 25.
Dari goes to Amazing Grace and asks, for the Monster Mash, are we allowed to use spells?
Yeah. Anything that you have capability to.
Knock yourself out, kid. And I give him the gold needed to enter.
Okay.
I guess I'm
So
entering.
each of you mark off 5 gold.
I don't have to.
Yeah, I should get off of mine.
You know what? I'm gonna watch this fight, and absolutely not because I plan to use Bardic Inspiration on them during the fight.
And I'm going to watch it and absolutely not use it to control flames and keep them safe.
So Duke,
It's probably a
So
good
they're all-
thing you
so the
you
group's
got her
kind
to
of
sign up
gone,
because if
done
you
their
had
own
left,
thing.
I was gonna forge your name.
Asks the question for Amazing Grace later. Is it
I
scaled
was
to
thinking
difficulty
that.
of the group?
No.
You're
What's
So
the
it's
first
difficulty
time?
of sign, and each group has a different monster.
Yep.
I will join,
Holy cow, half a
On my
loaf of
own?
bread.
Whoa.
and allowing if there's any other randoms that will join too. So if any are looking for a party, if not, it will be just me. But if there's others that
Oh
are
my
looking for a party, I will join the looking for group.
I didn't realize you'd made a second character.
You didn't realize what?
That he made a second character. All right. Okay. They inform you that the hand to hand will start. The tournament will start just after lunch, and as the sun goes down, we'll be starting the monster match. There are some of the creatures that really fare better in the dark.
Quick question for those two: is it a caged match?
It will be contained within the pit.
It's a pit match.
Is the pit like an arena, like Coliseum?
I
style?
apologize. Now that enough of you are here, I probably could do that.
I actually
See, I was
do
thinking
have a
my-
question. This is a
trying to
yearly
think myself,
thing,
like-
right?
I can always run away if I need to. So I can escape the pit is what I'm
Go-
trying to get my idea.
What?
What?
What? No, scroll back up! Scroll back up!
So, I do have a question. This is an annual event, right?
Yes.
Meaning, if I,
The
letting
picnic.
them talk over their strategies, I walk off. I'm gonna go grab some lunch and ask people what kind of monsters they saw last year in the
Yep.
pit. So I would like to do that while they're.
Okay.
The last 2 years.
Yeah.
If there's a trend.
Ask about what kind of monsters. I'm not
So I'll write that on a sheet of paper.
Thank you.
After they drop you in the pit, walk without rhythm.
What without rhythm?
Walk without rhythm.
Dance badly while you walk.
Yeah. It's a good thing I'm not known. People aren't known for much dancing.
It's a Doom reference. There's these gigantic sandworms
Oh.
in the desert, and
You think there's gonna be the
if
same one?
people walk like when something walks with a rhythm left, right,
Oh,
left,
what
right,
city are we in
Who knows
again?
where you're gonna be?
That's how
Semblance.
they track
Now-
prey,
now-
and they go. You can like step,
Supposed to be a good
Step,
point
step.
to.
step, step.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna guys. Folks, we're going to go ahead and take our break here because it'll give me time to kind of answer some of the questions that have been asked. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Check your body.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Storm's getting worse. Our exploratory diving bell
Yes, Cape Demoni is here in Perry.
Wong and his assistant Mary Nelson have vanished.
All the computers indicate that whatever caused it came from somewhere in the Pacific.
We'll start searching that area immediately.
Did you know that you can subscribe to the channel for free if you have Amazon Prime? It's true. All you have to do is sign into your Amazon account, and then go to gaming.amazon.com. On the left side of the screen, under your name, it will ask you to link your Twitch account. Once that's done, just head over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/gamersledge. You'll have an option to subscribe using your Twitch Prime. It costs you nothing, but helps support the channel. There is one catch: it runs out in 30 days, so make sure you come back and click the subscribe button again next month if you want to continue supporting great shows like this one. Thanks for helping. Be excellent to each other. And game on.
There's new items in the merch store. Head to bit.ly/gamersledgemerch. That's all one word, gamers, ledge, merch, to check out the newest, latest and greatest gifts like mugs, t-shirts, mouse pads, stickers and more. Show some love for the show creators. They get a cut from each item sold, whether it is a Notice Me Senpai DM t-shirt, or a mug that helps you clarify when a point needs to be made in conversation. There's still a few minutes left in the break. You've got time? We will be here when you get back. Visit bit.ly/gamersledgemerch. Be excellent to each other and merch. Game on.
And welcome back. As I was just mentioning, as things get closer to the hand-to-hand fight, a large kind of netting is thrown over the top of the taller, round circle that is suspended in the air so that there's shade over the entire pit. And people start to gather around the edges of the area to watch the oncoming hand-to-hand tournament. And I am looking for something that I should have grabbed. So what are you guys doing for this?
I would like to watch.
There is an area set aside for you, Droxar, where you're sitting with some of the other, what you assume to be your hand-to-hand fighters, as they are clearing out. You see Amazing Grace walk to the center of the now empty pit, and she takes a small stone out of her pocket, and you can see her whisper to it, and then she, almost like she's going to toss it in the air, but just slowly raises her hand, and it starts hovering around her. And as it's hovering around her, you can see it puts off just the faintest glimmer of light. And as she speaks, her voice is magnified by hundreds. It's even. It's not like it's like that. She says, "Welcome one, welcome all, to the Bright Blade celebration in semblance. We are about to start the hand-to-hand tournament." And everybody in the stands, yeah! Some people are shaking stubs of betting stubs. And most people are
Is there
waiting.
like a Groktar section that's chanting for him?
Yeah, it's just
I'm chanting.
Oh, I made a go Rockstar. It's on.
Yeah, yours says Grok and somebody else goes Tar.
Yeah.
Down with Groktar, up with Roman.
But I'm
Down with
holding like,
Groktar,
I'm
up with
holding like
Roman.
turkey legs in my hands. So.
Oh, okay. This guy's always eating.
Down with Groktar, up with Roman. Down with Groktar.
You can't do it, no one can.
If you can't do it, others probably can. Yay! Go, Roman.
Thanks. Thanks, dude. Full support.
Did you bet on
Well, I had a lot of them. It was 10 gold.
10 gold? That's right.
Nice.
Your name wasn't even known at the time. Let's not pretend.
It will be known.
Let's not pretend.
One way or the other, it's going to be known.
Or right in the obituary.
Ooh. Ouch. What kind of tournament is this?
Where I get rich. That's where.
That's
But you
dark.
bet against him?
He wasn't in
No, he
the
bet-
fighting when I
He's
bet.
betting on somebody else.
I bet 5 days ago. You bet against him. Yeah, in the past and present. 2 more gold on him. I'm growing. I don't. I try not to go leave and then go.
I'm not
do it.
necessarily fighting Bromon. It's just, and it would be a, just round by round thing, right?
Yeah, because you're gonna concede when you get Gromon, right?
If you
So, you see, there are, for the hand-to-hand tournament, there are about 20 people
Whoa.
that enter. And she's, yes,
Okay.
what?
I was gonna ask if I
Have what?
had
Sure. She is telling you essentially the rules, which are no weapons. Only your natural weapons are allowed in the ring, and use whatever the gods granted you in that fashion. So now you're starting to see that maybe somebody like a Minotaur might have an advantage there.
No, no magical casting.
Yeah, no magic will be cast, but there are ways that they will be able to tell if magic is used. And also, sounds like somebody was going to try to use something.
I'm trying to help.
and may the odds be ever in your favor. And then she turns and she's describing to the crowd how the fight's going to go, and essentially it's going to be 5 pairs fighting at a time in the tournament until there is 1 person left, and then they will start over with another 5 pairs of people until those last 2 people are the ones that fight. Yes.
How does that
You
work?
got
There's
this.
5
I had some
pairs,
pairs this
means that then
morning.
there's 5, so someone's gonna be unmatched.
It'll be a buy round.
5 pairs of people
Yep, so you
mean
have
that
5
there's 10 guys in there.
Yep, and then you'll end up with 5 left.
Once you have knocked out your guy, you turn and look and start taking out other guys.
But there's still also the
Oh.
Minotaur too.
There's 10 people in there fighting.
There's 10 people at a time. They
And one
start
person
off
coming
by
out.
fighting 1 person on 1, and then it goes to a free-for-all.
Ah, okay.
10 people enter. Oh, wow, that's a one man lead.
Maybe.
Orban.
I thought you were saying that
Or Minotaur.
after they take out their opponent, they pair up again
No.
like that until there's only one. It's like, but there's somebody who's not going to pair.
Well, no, you have to do 1 first.
No.
So then it'll be 4 people.
Okay, out of
Yeah.
character, I have very high intimidation. I think she's gonna get all super scared.
You didn't mention armor.
I need to talk to your manager.
And they don't mention armor.
Okay.
How easily detectable is magical armor?
That's a very good question.
I'm just saying, it's not even like I did it during the tournament. Like, if I cast it on him, if he can't wear armor, then I'm gonna cast that
Okay,
on
I'm gonna put Vodka and Victor down here.
because that lasts for a while, too. So I'm just saying.
Graftar,
if I
you're up near the
find out
top.
that it's not good, Graftar is
Duke.
gonna have that ahead of time.
I'm gonna put you
That works.
here. UG here with Dari. Unless you guys want it to be moved.
No, no. Good.
What is your AC?
17, unless I have my shield. You didn't say anything about
And your
shields.
dex modifier's not that great, though.
It's +2.
Oh, then never mind. I'm not gonna help you whatsoever.
Shield is considered
I will do you
a
some
shield
damage.
is considered a weapon.
Huh?
A shield is considered a weapon to them.
So yeah, if
Yeah,
I
she's
tried to
definitely
give you mage armor, I would have been like inhibiting your.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do mage armor for you. It's gonna be great.
It'd be
I
great.
feel
It's,
really restricted. No, it's fine. You're good.
you're good. It's just. Yeah. No. What's up?
I was gonna ask for the game. If a 2-on-1, but one-on-one is fighting against each other, and someone already finished the fight, and they fight one of them, could they fight one of the people that was already fighting?
No, I think they have to wait until the pairs are done fighting before they can free
Roll
for all.
initiative.
But I want to hear his answer too.
Okay.
That's basically what the rules. She said is it's 5 all go, or 5 pairs, and then once that group is basically done, all right, here's your 5. Now begin, and then all 5 of you do.
No, but before that, if only 2 people are fighting, I
You
gotta
can't.
wait.
That's what the rule was. You wait till everybody finishes theirs.
No.
No.
That doesn't-
Oh,
that's what you
really?
said.
No.
No, I guessed.
So you said once they finish,
I
all
said
5 are
I
finished,
said once
then
you're finished, it's a free for all.
So once you win your
So there's 2
queue,
different
So you
conflicting
need to
ones.
beat your guy fast.
No. Once you are done,
Who am I fighting?
it's a free for all. You as they start to pair off, you note that they didn't link up any names. They just dropped 10 people into the thing, and people started pairing off.
Okay.
So as you kind of march in, you're not a small guy, a fairly large brawler that looks kind of like the guys that would probably start brawls on purpose in taverns.
Oh, great.
He kind of walks over to you. He's wearing a black leather vest that looks like it's made of small scales, and harem pants.
Oh, MC Hammer?
yeah.
Yeah, and bare feet, and his knuckles look almost swollen with the calluses that have grown over. but you can see recent wounds, as in he probably fought this morning.
Oh, great. He's experienced.
Well,
Be careful.
but
You got
it might
hammer
be a
pants.
little
You can't touch him.
I got a 9.
Well, plus whatever your initiative is. Just
Oh.
1, right?
I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 2.
So
what?
11.
And do I get 2 attacks?
Do you normally get 2 attacks?
Unarmed?
Yeah.
It's unarmed.
Don't you?
Don't you? You have a negative on the second attack, right?
Yeah. Second attack is made with disadvantage.
Dual wielding feat.
What's that?
There is a dual wielding feat, but I think the second attack is at disadvantage. So you would punch with your dominant fist, and then you would get a second attack as a bonus action. But because it's not your specialty, you would make that that second attack with disadvantage.
But am I getting plus strength or something for?
Yep, it would be your proficiency bonus plus strength to hit him.
My strength is plus 3, so plus 3 to hit and damage, or
So it would be your proficiency bonus is plus 2, correct?
The ceremony spell?
Yeah.
So it would be a plus 5 to hit
That's
him.
what I get with weapons too.
Yeah, and then your damage is going to be 1d2, 1d3 plus your strength.
And then
So half of a d6 plus your strength.
I didn't realize that
Is that in there?
that D20, rolling a 20 is a guaranteed hit regardless of AC, according to the rules, core rule.
Yeah.
I thought it was still like there
Oh,
wasn't a
and
guarantee.
I crit on 19 and 20.
With the weapon?
So sure.
I'm looking at it right here. I mean, I don't see. I didn't write down whether it's good looking or not.
already past that phase.
I'd have to look at the player's manual.
Use hand combat melee attack allows you to attack a foe within your reach. Typically used on handheld weapons.
Has been hotel.
When you are unarmed, you can fight melee by making an
Oh.
unarmed strike.
My bad. It's 1 plus your strength modifier. So you'll do 4 damage on a punch, which isn't bad.
Oh. On a successful hit,
On a successful hit.
which is.
You're a d20 plus 5.
That's fine.
Alright, so
And
as
the second fist is D20.
2 d20s take the
There
lowest.
weren't any sex jokes in the original.
That's fine. That's fine.
Has been hotel.
Yes.
Do we have a player manual? Somebody's not using?
There are a lot of them.
There weren't
There's
any
combat
sex
in the red
jokes.
type
There were
bar.
none at all.
I'm looking for fighter. Like feats or whatever you call them.
For a minute. Disney levels. She talked to us that many times.
It says, yes, it says your weapon attacks score critical on 19 and 20.
Weapon.
And their natural weapons.
And what was the other one? Is that it? Alright.
But no, like seriously, hand. This is considered weapon attacks because they're different from spell attacks.
I don't know if it's.
You're lucky your parents are divorced. I couldn't hear what you said. I only heard divorce. No,
No, she's talking about your real parents.
and then you just like got quiet, like you were like, yeah, sure I am.
Oh, okay. So the offhand attack is not at disadvantage,
Okay.
but you don't add your ability to it. So you'll punch and do 4 damage, and you'll punch and do 1 damage.
Alright. But I'm still plus 5 to hit.
But you're still plus 5 to hit on both.
Alright.
So, as you square off, you hear a loud, resounding horn. And everybody in the arena begins to start moving around each other. He rolled higher than you on initiative, so he's going to fake the left, and then, or fake right, and then swing his left and try to connect with you. Bringing up his kind of massive fist. This guy is built like a dwarf the size of a human. Big guy. And as he kind of swings past you, you can almost smell the ale off his breath. He has a liquid breakfast and stumbles as he moves past you, catching himself just barely, but you hear jeering from the audience because he missed completely. Rolled a 1.
Nice.
Did he punch himself in the face?
And you see that the others are doing similar maneuvers. But you're kind of really trying to concentrate on the guy that you're fighting right now, so you're not seeing a lot. But out of your peripheral vision, you can see them definitely leading each other some solid hits. You heard somebody cry out in pain, and yeah. So go ahead.
Is there a benefit for him faking like that?
No. There is, if you are the right class to take advantage of it.
Okay, 8 for the first one. Okay.
Nope.
3 plus 5. And the last one. That one is 16 plus 5, 21.
That definitely hits. He ducks past your first punch. Your second punch, huh?
And ducks right in the
and
second.
ducks right in the second. You glance off of his eyebrow, kind of knocking him, but you can see it tears a small strip right above his eyebrow, and you can see a little bit of blood.
And that was only 1 damage?
There was only 1 damage, yeah.
Way to hit a guy when he's down.
People continue to duck and move. This time, he tries to bring his knee up and swing to punch you.
Is there aiming? Like, can you prep to get a bonus for if you're not doing 2 arms attack?
Yeah, you would essentially be attacking with disadvantage to try to do something extra. 11, which his knee connects with your armor plating in your belly, and you can hear a resounding hum, and then he tries to swing and hit you with his fist, and just misses completely. He is not doing well.
I'll try to hit him again. 14 plus 5 is 19.
That hits.
That's 4.
Our crocodile.
And 1.
And a natural 1.
Yeah.
You get the first punch, hits him solid right in the jaw. He kind of shakes it off a little bit, and it's strange. It's almost like him being drunk is helping give him a layer of fuzziness. And he dodges underneath your other punch fairly easily as you swing.
Drunken master style.
Yes.
You hear halted as one of these two collapses to the ground.
Does it matter? They're on
You can't tell.
Take them.
And you hear a cry out from this guy as the opponent he's facing must have done something. You heard a crack, like bones cracking.
There's no minotaurs in here, right?
No.
Just wait.
Are we in the splash room?
Can I put mage armor up to keep myself from getting splashed with their gore?
Wait for the minotaurs. There'll be plenty of gore.
Ooh, a tooth.
Yeah. Let them fight.
And
this is what they paid them to get their butts kicked. They like this.
If they
No,
die,
they
die.
paid.
Does a 19 hit you?
Yeah.
Does a 17 hit you?
17, yeah.
Okay. He comes across again, swinging, swinging wide, and connects with your jaw, and you can feel as it's tracking across. You hear something kind of snap a little bit in your jaw as it comes across, and you take 3 points of damage, and another one up into where your ribs would be if it wasn't covered in armor, and you can hear another solid chong as the fist connects, but it still hits you with enough force to do an additional damage.
So
4 damage.
16 plus 5 is 21.
Yeah, that hits.
And 17 plus 5 is 22.
Yep. So I think that I'm gonna have him take those away. Yeah.
That's 4 more, yeah.
You got them from Justin. Freaking Justin.
I don't know where you got it.
Yeah, I'm also using Justin dice, and they're not treating me that well.
The dice
Yeah.
bite, just smell. So nice.
So I hit both times, so.
Oh, so yeah,
Four more.
that's another 5 damage.
So what was it, 5 more?
You hit for 4. Yeah, you still 5.
So that's.
Wait, don't you roll for damage?
10 for it.
10.
Don't you roll for the damage?
So the unarmed under most circumstances is 1 plus your strength modifier, and if you're doing that second hit
get the strength modifier.
is no strength modifier. Yeah. Okay. You hear people still fighting in the ring. This one has run to here and is starting to pick on that one. And he takes another couple swings at you. A 19 and a 14. 19 hits. And he swings hard with his left. That you can tell that's his moneymaker. And take another 3 points of damage as he rings your belly.
I could distract him. But fire.
19 plus 5, 24.
Oh yeah.
But not a critical because weapon attacks.
I'll have to check that later, yeah. Another one? Wow, those dice are good and bad for you. Yeah, the energy regenerates.
So, 4 more.
Alright. And he collapses under your strike. Smashes into the ground.
So I look around to see who's the strongest, who looks like the strongest to me.
So, physically strongest or toughest opponent? The woman down here seems to be quick, light on her feet. She knows exactly where she can put her punches. These two here look pretty evenly matched. Swift, quick punches. They're not really haymakers or anything, but they're hitting in very specific positions. These three over here seem to be just slugging it out, like barroom brawl style.
And she's just standing there?
This one?
No, that was down.
This one?
Yeah.
No, she's fighting him.
Oh, they're fighting.
Yeah. They're fighting. He is not equipped to handle her situation.
Oh, so I should fight him down there. I'll go down there and get behind her.
And help him out? Wow.
Donkey puncher.
Well, I mean, she's the strongest one, right?
Yeah.
I don't want her to win.
Oh my god.
Oh! She would take me out.
She's too good.
Yeah.
That's your
lady.
Huh?
That's your movement. All right. Okay.
She's in a fighting pit. She ain't no lady.
You can be a lady in a fight, but you can also kill a lady.
I don't want to
She's a lady on the streets and a barbarian in the other.
Or if it is, I want them to be hurt.
You see these two take this guy out, and then begin to square off against each other. These ones are fighting very well together, but it's strange. It's almost like they know each other, the way that they're fighting.
Hey.
I said you couldn't do that.
Maybe they're just in the same dojo.
Right over there, we're gonna both attack me.
Maybe they're just in the same dojo. They're in the same martial arts styles. Well
Yes.
balanced.
We're in the same.
So 6 will get you here. And then you want to use your other movement to get you in. Like you do a dash action instead of an dash action. Instead of fighting, you'll be up next to her, but
Will I have a chance to attack?
no.
Good enough.
No, do it. Go on.
All right.
I'll come watching her moves. Yeah.
This one gets taken out. And she looks around and starts wearing the stretcher. And she does a quick, almost neck snapping move that drops him to the ground. He falls to the ground. Not falls back with knockback. He crumples to the ground like someone snipped his strings.
Think he's okay?
And seeing you, steps up to you.
Does she look like she's taking any punches here now? No.
And she takes a breath, and you can see almost like reality around her voice as she takes a deep breath. It's almost like the energy that is coming off of her, you see it for a fraction of a second.
I'm curious, is anyone in the audience?
Do you perception checks?
So she stepped up to me. Can I get attack?
Nat 20. Plus 3, which is 23.
18. As you guys are looking around, seeing, because you think you might have seen something happen, you actually see nailed to each stanchion, right? How there are like pieces of, there are like telephone poles,
Yeah.
posts that are
Wires.
holding up the netting, giving everyone shade, right? On each of those, a small piece of paper has been nailed. It's a piece of paper about this big with some kind of strange lettering on it, and the lettering is glowing.
I got a 23. Do I recognize the letter?
23 on perception.
Yes.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Would you inform me of this? Because I rolled a 2. I have a -1 to perception. So I saw nothing.
I'm probably
6.
looking at
I've got a
something.
6.
What's that?
You rolled a 6?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you don't
No,
recognize
I see it, but I do not think it's good, so I'm going over it.
Roll me an Arcana. Did you notice it?
He pointed it out to me. It looks
Roll me
problematic.
an Arcana.
Oh no, I just was gonna set it on fire.
Yeah, that's how we get it.
I'm gonna just set it on fire.
No! No!
10.
No!
It looks like it was put there as part of the pit fight, not that somebody put it there to give someone an advantage.
Who needs fire sprinklers?
Okay.
These things are bad for buildings.
So, do you want me to burn it?
No! Do not. This is how.
Cheating, isn't it cheating?
I don't know what it is. Maybe you
What
should
did
burn
you
it.
roll? The puncher?
Tenno's eating popcorn.
So I'm gonna take some swings at her.
Just let me know if you want me to set something on
If
fire.
she's there.
No,
She is.
Oh, if you're there. You know what that is?
11 total.
I know what that is.
And 7.
Honestly,
Yeah, these guys drink
She almost like comedically slowly punches your punches, moves past your punches, and then takes her hand flat and comes up against your armor to get you like right in the area where your breastplate meets the chain across your body.
So she dodged, dipped, dived, and dodged.
Yep.
Can I get closer to it?
22
Remember, you can dodge a mace. You can dodge a punch.
And you take 5 points of damage.
This could be quick.
Daria is running towards what the
Daria is what?
Daria is making her way through the crowd to try and see what's on it.
Okay, give me another check. Arcana.
10.
Yeah, you're not sure, but you can tell that it was obvious. It looks like it was put there by the people who built the place.
Okay, she's done attacking.
Yep.
It's almost like the person that ran this thing said that there'd be ways to tell if people were casting magic inside of the pit.
Or that people wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, it's almost like they announced that in the very beginning.
Oh, that's what the net's for?
No, that's what these small strips of paper are for.
Oh, okay.
To prevent people from casting spells.
So whatever she's got going on is natural.
That
She's
is
not allowed to use magic.
incredibly terrifying if that's happening.
Ornate.
Or she's a monk. I'm just saying.
I know. I like it very sound.
Monk, that makes so much more sense.
14 hits.
Alright.
You can't fight that
What
good.
kind of a monk is she with an AC below 14?
Something she just did. It lowered her AC for this round.
No, wait, that's a 3.5.
1 plus 3?
So 4. Yeah. What was that?
The second one?
Power attack. No, wait, that's 3.5.
That's a 7.
I like this dice. Keep rolling.
7.
Especially when you're fighting against my hero.
I am getting beat up though, so I don't know what's going to happen.
No, she's my hero right now.
Wait, don't you have a self-healing ability?
I do have second wind, yeah.
Is that magic?
It's neither. It's just an ability fighters have to kind of take a breath and readjust.
But it is a bonus action. So it would take your.
I'm gonna see what she does.
She is going to duck again, and this time come across and try to hit you right here behind the jaw.
That's already broken, so it's not
Monk said knock you out.
Oh, fine. Punch me in the jaw. I already broke it. My jaw's already broken. You can't break it again.
She swings the first time, and you're starting to catch on, and you go nope. But the problem is she was already moving with the other hand and goes. Roll me a Constitution save.
What the hell?
Monk's scary.
Very scary.
They shouldn't be loud this time of fight.
Probably should be.
Wow. That's pretty classist.
Oh, 15.
15?
Plus 3.
You barely.
What?
Barely
18?
shrug off some kind of energy transfer. It for a second, your whole body started to seize up, like you couldn't move, and then you're able to kind of push through it, and like.
With my hammer.
There's my hammer.
The hammer is my fists.
Rocks are to your wrist. You do not have your hammer. Okay. And yeah, that's her. You take 2 points of damage.
Right?
2.
19.
It looks like. Oh, sorry. Other things are happening as well. It also looks like the fights outside. The other fights are pretty much almost done.
Can I move to the other side of her? Or to her? Yeah. Can I do that?
Yep.
So when those guys show up.
They don't automatically come after you.
So you think.
15 plus 5 is a 20?
This guy's a PC. We're gonna go after him first.
20 and a 10.
That means block combat, right?
20 hits, 10 does not.
Okay, so what was the first one? So 2 swings like that. I can't hold it like that.
No, your other swing is your bonus action. You cracked her. You cracked her pretty solid, and she moves again to double punch you.
Watch out! She's gonna double punch you.
give him that Kirk.
Oh, I get.
Remember Captain Kirk real quick.
I think this is combat range.
23 to hit and 19 to hit. She'll take 5 points and 4 points.
5 and 4?
Yep.
5 on the first hit, 4 on the second.
She has Tessa.
This is not going well.
It's going perfect.
I'll have to talk to you about that. Because it's different.
Take a Mondo, dude.
Dagger comes out of the sand everywhere.
It's not magic. It is cheating, but it's not magic. Everything you've learned about this group, you probably don't want to cheat.
The dagger goes to the stands and hits Grokthar.
What in the world? That is a good way to get the other person.
I'm gonna swing and then use my bonus action.
Okay.
12 plus 5 is 17.
That hits?
4 more. And then, what is it? 10 plus 11.
Yeah.
10 plus level?
Yeah.
Roll high. Roll high.
What are we doing to roll high? Dispel.
Nice.
Or you can just roll the d20
What's that,
and
man?
re-roll something above a 10.
I was referring to the Spider-Man scene behind you.
2 plus 3 is 4.
So 15.
15, yeah. She can't drop me in 1 round. I got help coming too.
Really hope your constitution's good.
Come up, they finish your fights and they walk up like, hey, what's going on? And they give you another person a high five.
Oh.
You have a joke with this guy? Ah, come on.
She takes a hit and spins around you, moving here,
The old cyclone.
and then punches, and gets a 21 to hit.
Hits.
That's a hit.
She misses the second hit.
What?
She went to hit you twice and misses the second one by a lot.
But the first one hits.
And she
Five
2
points.
swings
So
and
10 left.
Yeah, you can move even when you attack.
You did move in the attack. You moved behind her.
You're right. But it's,
5 points.
So you have 10 left.
well, there goes until it's second.
But hey, you got a free round of health.
What's up, Malcolm? Yes,
Okay.
That's what he's been trying to do.
I know.
Right?
Yep.
13 plus 5 is 18.
That hits.
That's another 4. And 6 plus 5 is 11.
I think that's 14. As long as you get 14.
11 misses. No, that's not entirely true. No. It was 14 for 1 round because of something she tried to do and failed. You're hit. She falls back to the ground.
Down or is she faking it?
I don't know. She's on the ground.
Trying to celebrate.
We got her!
Oh, she did a Cobra Strike. Jump up from the ground.
Sweep the leg! Sweep the leg! What the heck?
Give her the elbow drop.
She came up from behind. Yeah. She's been running over.
It's another guy?
It's one of, there were 2 women that were fighting up here.
Oh.
She survived and came down to
Is
join
she
this
beat up
fight.
at all?
She looks pretty beat up. There's bruises forming on her. She's
So
a
look
half
at her.
She's a half elf wearing what looked like bandages. so straps of leather across her whole body, like in.
I yelled to her, sweep Grogdar's leg! Sweep the leg!
And she attempts to trip you.
It's the what?
Attempts
to trip you.
to trip you.
Because of his suggestion.
13.
Again, you're trying to take my money from me.
I can do it later. Somebody throw the goblin in here. 14 plus 5 is 19.
To someone as a projectile.
2 plus 5 is 7.
What was the first one?
It was 19.
19 hits.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yep.
And I got 10 left.
Did you
Rope
did
is
you
almost over.
He's got that slide.
It's a long break after this.
Did you get the sweeping action out? Did you miss?
You missed.
I feel like I missed that. I was like,
There was a solid crack as her shin hit the metal of his armor.
Ooh, I should
19 to hit you. She swings the first hit and then misses and swings the second hit and connects with your net and does 2 points of damage.
2?
Second.
So if you have -2 to strike, can you punch people to heal them?
You do minimum 1 damage.
Damn it.
It just does 2 less, right?
In theory,
-2.
in theory,
is 1.
A 1.
Ow, it hurts
Nat
so
one?
good.
a nat 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And 14 plus 5, 19.
That is
That's only 1 damage.
1 damage.
So, describe it. How'd that happen?
Totally miss and then force her to run the way other face. Just ran into it.
Nice. 15.
15 now, 17.
15. 17 is your AC?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, your AC is 19 with a shield?
Yeah.
That's.
You don't want to use a shield.
I know. I'm saying that's pretty awesome. That's pretty high. Yeah, she misses twice. She hits your armor, but doesn't do anything.
Alright, so you want to give up? Alright.
She's got 5 foot plus stick.
9. 7.
Unless you're gonna give her money.
The way you've been striking, I was gonna offer you the same deal, man.
How's your windmilling?
Oh, man, I'm exhausted.
Rocker, you 25?
Woo, I need a break. Tag out. Somebody tag out. Tag in.
18 and natural 1. So you're not the only one rolling.
18 misses.
You
Hit
take
yourself in the face.
3.
5 left. This is coming down to nitty-gritty. Hey,
You got this, Gio.
It's 15 plus 5.
And there's
20?
there's a lot of that hits, and you knock her to the ground.
Yeah.
She hits the kind of soft wet earth with a there's another loud horn blast
It's over.
as it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner for round 1, Rockstar."
Rockstar.
You see a whole bunch of people tearing up like tickets.
Oh no.
And throwing them in the ground. A couple people are like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
And they move out, and the loud voice says, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Tomorrow will be round 2.
Oh, good.
And we look forward to having you out. We're gonna make sure everybody here is nice and healed up for the event tonight. Again, that's Monster Mash. It's gonna be here tonight. Make sure you get your bets in for the Mystery Monsters."
Mystery Monster!
We hope to see you all here for the at the graveyard shift for the Graveyard Smash, the Monster Mash.
She looks around in confusion. Like, who made that noise?
Don't go too far, people. The next round will be starting soon, and we'll be gone in a flash.
That's not true. That's not true.
Grandpa stumbles toward the
game's over.
As you guys note, when the horn went off, all of the small pieces of paper that were glowing previously have just went back into being pieces of paper. They have like arcane lettering written on them, but they're not glowing anymore.
Okay, I believe they are to prevent magic use.
You see there are people that hop over, but many of them being healers and medical practitioners that were at the temple that you guys saw a couple days ago. And they're kind of helping people get to their feet and nursing broken jaws and that kind of stuff. The woman next to you, the first one, she's laying like this and opens one eye and looks around, and then does a leap back onto her feet, nods at you, and then walks off and heads out.
Is that the Nomishly?
Yeah. Bless you.
Play dead.
Dude, have you seen that? It's like
Decided she didn't want to get knocked all the way unconscious.
Almost as if she knows she's got something else to do tonight. Bless you. The healers and different people remove everybody from the field. Move everybody from the field to get healed. And the gnome runs out and says, "Well, congratulations! I definitely didn't expect for such a late entry for you to have survived as long as you are. How do you feel? Are you okay?"
How much did I win?
So you'll get your winnings tomorrow if you win the tournament. But I mean, as well as you did today, I have no doubt that you will give a good fight to Gorman, as well as some of the other specialties we have tomorrow. And he looks over at Amazing Grace and nods his head. He says, she wins every year. I don't even know why you guys enter. And then he turns around and leaves.
She wins every year?
Amazing Grace, yeah.
Oh, she's in it? Come on!
That's how Amazing Grace makes.
Oh, how sweet that sounds.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Every time you scroll up, I think I just.
Roman.
I found a special section about clear phrases.
Okay. We have a couple different options at this moment. We can fast forward to Monster Mash. I can see what you guys want to do. If you have anything you're doing beforehand, I think you had actions you're doing beforehand. Tanner?
Potentially, but we're definitely not going to have time to do Monster Mash tonight.
No, but I can do a reveal, which was the plan.
Oh, okay.
So, does anybody have any actions they'd like to do before the evening start of Monster Mash?
This question, is he?
Oh yeah, he's still hurting.
He's gonna get healed too.
You're in?
He's already in them.
He's already signed up. And he's gonna go fight some.
No, but he could pay someone to heal, and then
Oh,
he
yeah,
is available for doing
Okay.
Pay for it.
I thought the healers came and healed us up.
No. The medical practitioners who are non-magic were helping wake people up. They're still bruised and hurting.
They'll help
They're sitting at like one hit point.
So like, you know how like a doctor will fix you? That's what they do. They don't cure you, they fix you.
Wait, do we have
So
any
where do we get them fixed up?
With potions.
Or with ones that give you more.
Or it would be a shame. It'd be a shame if you, because I know you guys don't have a cleric or a druid, both of which have healing powers. I'm just saying.
Or a bard with healing words.
Or a bard with healing words.
couch full of healing people? Heal people!
Yeah.
It's literally the casting couch.
Would they be able to cast a heal and then
That is a bad joke of the day.
No.
Is it long enough for at least for a short one?
Well,
Can we
No, wait, is
So,
Cure Wounds
it is-
castable as a ritual?
It is
long enough for a short rest.
It is long enough for a short rest. You could use hit dice to heal up some of your hit points. You wouldn't be able to use those later, but you do have enough time to do that. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you could do a short rest. And I have things that'll help you on short rests, too.
Okay.
So I'm guessing nobody wants to take this.
I have a moral obligation not to beat up monsters. Also, I
have a moral obligation to beat up monsters, but I'm charging.
So, that being said, as a plot point, my character had already registered for if there was a vacancy and somebody needed people.
Oh,
Yes.
I take it back.
Oh.
Your wound cannot be cast as a ritual.
Oh.
So you can take my spot.
If you would talk to him about it,
Well,
otherwise
you'd have
you
to
would.
go to probably
Otherwise you
Amazing
would.
Grace or something, 'cause I'm
You would
gonna-
just go to Amazing Grace and say, "Look, I'm out," and they would say, "Well, we'll see if we can fill the gap if you guys are okay with that," and then they would grab it. Right now, you don't know he registered by himself, and he doesn't know you guys need a person.
Oh, I got a 9. That's good. 9 plus 3 is 12. I'm up to 17.
Incorrect, because I, having seen you, know that I can provide assistance for Steven. So I can use my bardic ability, Song of Rest. I use soothing music for duration to help revitalize my wounded allies. You regain an extra 1d6.
He's singing at you while you're feeling better.
Is that a cantrip?
Or?
No, it's free.
I thought he was profiling.
Hobgoblin? What's your race again? Huh? What's your race again?
You greenies all look the same.
You're green!
He's not green. He's not. He's not green. He's not even green. No, Rockstar. Rockstar's not green. He's like a reddish brown.
Branding
Wow.
around with
Profiling.
more.
Yeah.
Punching all the stupid balls.
Okay, does anybody have anything they would like to do before this? I know you said the journal.
Yeah.
And I'll get with you in just 1 second.
Ooh. I don't really want to bet again.
I go
I
by
have no
a mask.
Okay.
A very good mask. And a different cloak.
Okay.
5 silver.
Probably like 5 silvers.
Tell you what, you better
And I have them in the box back
and between the two of us, we're going to
That's not cheap. That's not fast.
Silver. Another silver.
Okay.
And it says Luke as the name.
Luke? Okay.
Fine then, I'll change my face for you and walk up to them and tell them that I think they're all going to die.
Okay, fine. I'll bet against you. Bet for it.
I mean, it's gonna come out even, isn't it?
Are you actually betting?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how much you betting on me?
You're a bar. You're talking.
You're betting. 5 against your group.
He told me to. He said he promised me he was gonna bet 4 and have 5
I
bet
don't
against.
recall saying the word promise.
I get it. I am.
Why don't you just bet for us then?
You want
Oh, I'll bet 5-4 and
Hey,
5
are you betting
against.
for us?
Yes, I am. Do I have to do?
Awesome, you're gonna win so much money.
You're gonna win so much money.
Yeah, I'm sure you can ask what the odds are.
No. You can't bet for and against.
You guys are great.
What
Yep,
are the-
I'm betting for you.
During the time when I asked you, so like, what are the odds?
Vodka's betting for us.
The odds right now?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what monster is shown. A lot of
for the one that that party's gonna be doing.
We won't know until they show the monster.
So you're not gonna have odds ahead of time?
No, you kind
How long of a betting period do you get? Like monster show and then bet time.
Until it becomes a very, well, I mean, it depends on the bookie, but most of them are pretty good, and almost right up to me. They'll take bets, almost right up to me. We've had some monsters in the past that leveled the entire party right when you thought they were done.
betting for you guys.
I'm Shadow.
Okay, In the journal, it's essentially the journal of a little girl facing the end. And because no one really knows what happened, and it destroyed a lot of places, but didn't always save the people and didn't always save. It's strange with the disaster.
That was really funny. It was like, so are you ready?
Yep. It talks about her and her family, their farm, and that she was excited to travel north to one of the larger cities the following after following harvest. And then it has pictures of strange things. And it looks like she drew what she was seeing as the cataclysm happened, and whatever family was left was trying to get her out of the morning lights.
Did it look like she made it?
It looks like she may have made it out, but the drawings are of strange buildings and architecture you've never seen before. Monsters that you've never seen before. People that are made up of things you've never seen before.
Two possums.
And it's very interesting.
Pin cushions and food baby pin cushions.
Did anyone else have anything? Or are we fast forwarding?
Well, I guess.
I got tricked into betting against my friend.
Yep, I guess.
60%.
It's up to you. On whether or not you want to try to
bail out. I'm a cool. I gotta prove the cleric, right?
We do got a cleric. I can throw 2.
Wait, I'm gonna end the fight.
But not okay. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that they can't use magic in this arena during a fight, but you can't use magic during the arena.
No, you can. That was the question that was asked.
Oh, you can?
During the monster mash, you can.
It's different than the unarmed
Dari specifically asked if you can use magic inside the ring. You still cannot use magic from outside the ring.
But okay, I have healing word. How many hit points do you need?
I need,
how mostly healed?
I need 14 more.
On a scale of really hurt to severed limb, I'm
4,
14.
So take 8. And then take 7, and that'll be good. That uses 2 of my first level spell slots.
Okay, cool.
Wow, I
All right.
rolled real well.
As you guys,
If no one needs to move,
I have.
And y'all are getting ready to go in, I'll give y'all inspiration. Before you actually go in.
They start the Amazing Grace once again walks to the center of the room, and you can see that it's changed since you guys walked off and came back. There's a section in the upper side over here that has an area of the fence. Remember I said there was a fence that was like 3 feet taller than normal ground? It has been laid down to create a ramp and a fairly large cage covered in canvas has been rolled down the ramp onto the floor of the pit, and something is moving inside.
What are the noises? No roaring, nothing.
Nope.
Can we recognize?
Give me a nature check.
Somebody's gotta get it.
It's definitely an
14.
8. It sounds
15.
So Victor and Rockstar, you recognize it? Question mark? Because if it were what you think it is, it wouldn't sound like that. So they, the Amazing Grace starts talking again, and she says, I would like the group consisting of, because I should have gotten a group name from you, Victor, Brotzar, Yuji, and Dari to the pit, please. You will be the first to take on our Monster Mash.
To the pit!
To the pit. And you hear people chanting. You hear people chanting, to the pit, to the pit, to the pit,
to the pit, to the pit. Each of the 4 you take a D6. You can use it for a saving throw or an attack roll during this upcoming combat. You can choose to use it after you have thrown your regular dice, but before you've been told the results.
So do me a favor and write that down, because as was mentioned, you guys, this will be next session. And you, all of you make your way down to the pit. There's a hush that goes over the crowd. You see 2 large, bare-chested orcs in leather breeches with heavy amounts of scarring. They both have a big spear in their hand.
We're not fighting them, don't worry.
No, they each have a big spear in their hand, and they take one corner of the giant canvas tarp and pull it back over this huge cage, probably the size of like a big F-150. The cage it could hold that. And as they pull it back, the front of the cage falls, and a
China orphans
that just roll out. No, a gigantic.
You say diet?
He's gonna say it. Come on.
Come on, let him say it.
A gigantic scorpion moves out of the cage, snapping its feet, its claws, and its giant tail stabs at the dirt in front of it. And as it rears towards you, you can see that it has a whole bunch of eyes, and all of the eyes are on fire.
Uh-oh.
And that is where we are going to end for tonight. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you had fun. Thank you guys for watching. And when it comes to gaming, just felt like running.
Disadvantage.
I need you closer than ever than before. My life is wasted if I can't spend it all with you. I've lived in total darkness, now you're my only light. When you're away, I feel like a shadow in the night. Hold me, and look into my eyes. You'll be staying always by my side. I'll never let you go. No, I'll never let you go. You stay with me. I'll never let you go.
watching HMN.